All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this session. My name is Louise Henderson. I am part of Linkfluence, a meltwater company. I'm a product specialist at Linkfluence. And my role at Linkfluence is to help our sales teams understand our consumer intelligence platform, sell it, and demo it to our prospects and clients. So today, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to who we are. We've been a key player in AI-enabled consumer intelligence since 2006. We've expanded our presence globally with 7 offices and 200 employees to serve our clients. The Linkfluence platform is used by over 200 brands to derive actionable insights from social data and understanding their consumers better and faster. Our key customers span from luxury and beauty to CPG, wine and spirit, automotive and mobility, and our clients include Nike, Danone, General Mills, Estee Lauder, Kering, etc. We're recognized by industry analysts in their coverage of consumer intelligence and social listening. And as you can see here, we work with some of the largest consumer brands around the globe and across a variety of verticals and industries. Today, we'd like to talk about monitoring brand equity in real time using social data. And our differentiators compared to traditional market research is really focused on a couple points, which are setting up. So our setup is done once, and then the data is available in real time throughout the year. We use the whole of social web as a focus group. So we don't only focus on sampled data, which is predefined audiences or focus groups. We also collect spontaneous expression of emotion. So that means that the way the individuals express themselves is not biased by pre-designed questions or interviews. Clients have access to data at any time, and the drivers are identified at the industry level for a more relevant comparison of results. I'll actually go more in depth and detail of the methodology we use for our brand equity tracking. But our bread and butter is advanced use cases, and the beauty of Linkfluence is that we're able to work with all sizes of organizations, whether you're at the basic level of brand tracking or if you've been around the block a while. We address use cases for all teams. So in this demo, we'll explore practical examples of brand tracking solutions, so based on different levels of an organization's maturity using social data. We'll start with standard benchmarking, so for your brand performance against key competitors. We'll then give you an example of what advanced benchmarking can look like, where you can have a more granular structuring of your data, like markets or products or even custom topics. And finally, we'll have a look at our brand solution, which is where we will bring you an out-of-the-box turnkey brand equity monitoring solution. So now I'd like to dive into our consumer insights tool, Radarly, and see what that would look like in the platform. So this is Linkfluence Radarly. In Radarly, we organize the data by different workspaces, and we have a use case-based approach. So here we're looking at a project with 4 different workspaces around the automotive industry. Today, we'll only focus on the brand benchmarking use case. So here is a demo workspace built to benchmark automotive brands. And this first tab, where we are here, the overview tab, is where you can get at a glance an understanding of competitor set, their share of voice, identifying peaks in conversation over time. And we also access to quantitative KPIs, so like volume of posts or reach, engagement actions, etc., platforms bits. And we'll have here a good understanding of our brand stand. So for example, Toyota is the second most mentioned brand here. But if we switch to estimated reach, we'll find that Tesla has a much wider audience than Toyota. These are the kinds of very basic KPIs you'll find in the Overview tab. But let's dive into a more analytical space by going into the Post and Analytics section of Radarly. Here we'll be diving into the analytics. So you can go then straight into this space where your brands that you're benchmarking will be analyzed, and your workspace is here composed into three main components. So you have here on the left a collection of posts for the time period and for the specific queries that we're analyzing. We then have a filter bar here that allows to apply over 120 filters for your set of data in order to really deep dive and find relevant insights. And then you have different views here. It will help you understand better your data that are fully customized based on your use case with widgets to really deep dive into the micro moments of your data. So these tools will really help you perform your benchmark analysis. So at a glance, you'll be able to understand where your brand stands against your competitors in the same way that we were looking at in the Overviews tab. You can also see platform split or even understand what kind of sentiment is associated to your brand. Everything in Raiderly is completely interactive, so you can very easily slice and dice the data by selecting one query and having all of the workspace automatically updated to only focus on the certain brand that you've mentioned or that you've selected. Let's dive into another view of this Raiderly workspace. In this second view, as a second example, this is an authors tab. So this is a great way for you to deeply understand who is talking and who is discussing your brand. So are they, which kinds of demographics or different occupations of the stakeholders mentioning your brand, or also, of course, different languages that are used or posts coming from certain territories. This is a great way for you to very quickly compare which authors are coming from different brands, may it be BMW here, or if we switch and go to Toyota, we'll have here a good understanding of where the differences lie between different genders or different demographics for different brands. A third example of a view that you can use in Raiderly to benchmark your brands is our computer vision widgets that will really help you deep dive into the visuals for your brand logo, for example. So by clicking one logo, you can then have access to all of the visual content that will be recognized with this specific logo, but even narrowing it down to even more specific scenes, such as a race, for example, here. These are great ways to, in a few clicks, understand anything really trending about your brand and have a good understanding of the different content that is shared by consumers. Beyond this basic benchmarking, that is a first great level of understanding how your brand performs against your competitors, our team of experts can also work with you to define different topics, themes, attributes, or anything you would want to overlay on your data. So this is really where we'll go beyond to bring you even more granularity to understand everything about what is said on your brand, but at a global level. So in this example here, we've overlaid ESG attributes onto our brand's benchmark. And in a matter of clicks, you can really understand positioning of, for example, the environment attribute on certain brands for a certain period of time. So here we can use the different widgets to understand different keywords. Let's select the environment topic here. And the affects will be a great way to understand what are people saying about the brand BMW and the environment topic. Let's quickly compare with, for example, Tesla. And here, this is a great way to kind of deep dive into the specifics of the affects that are really affecting our consumers and maybe understand what is the most negative things that are said. For example, here we're seeing a lot of keywords around crisis or even more positive terms such as clean energy or good. So to perfectly integrate these turnkey use cases into Raiderly, we've decided to design our platform architecture offering a section in the platform called Insight Pages, which you're looking at right now. So these give you instant access to insight, fostering adoption within your teams. And in order to make it even simpler for you, these pages also include AI expert design data structuring, allowing you to get instant access to insight without even being expert analysts. So if you're a decision maker or anyone who really does need instant access to insight, these pages are really made for you. You'll have a set of pre-built insight pages per use case based on our in-house robust methodology that encapsulates over 10 years of consumer insight production expertise. So our teams will be building these for you, for your teams, based on your different use cases. These pages are also shareable on a regular recurring basis to your entire teams or through a certain snapshot that will freeze the page in time. Otherwise, they are live and you can simply consult them whenever you would need to have basic reporting and live reporting with structuring within your project. If you're an analyst or you need to create efficient or live reporting, all you have to do is walk into the new Insight page and pick either a template from the many options that we have to create your own from scratch with certain widgets that will already be pre-selected, or you can create a blank one and really be innovative and creative to create your own Insight page and reporting. So let's now move on to our brand solution. So Brands is built for the global scale and lightning speed of social data. It's also designed to complement more traditional market research methodologies. Brands makes it easy to understand your market and your company's position within it. So using our rigorous, proven ADPR framework, which analyzes awareness, desirability of a brand, proximity, and relevance, you can instantly identify areas that need improvement. So Raterly will give you the rigor and attention to detail of traditional market research methodologies with the speed and accessibility of social listening. So you'll get, as we were saying at the beginning of this presentation, spontaneous feedback, not influenced by interview questions, and you'll be able to compare your performance against wider industry drivers, which we'll be defining using a bottom-up approach. So once configured, Brands is constantly updated with live data, meaning it's always on, giving you real-time brand insights whenever you need them. So today, I'll show you an example of what this looks like on the platform. We'll focus on a set of brands on the French market, which you'll see here based on certain queries. What we've done is that we've translated these brands into queries and then cleaned the data to make sure that we've eliminated as much noise as possible to come up with a data set that is including only voice from individual people and not brands or brand institutions. Once we've done that first step, we then analyze the set of data to identify industry drivers. So we do that using a bottom-up approach, and the first objective is to provide you with these drivers to better understand your market and your positioning. So the purpose of brands is going beyond this, also to help you measure the gap between your projected image of your brand versus your real online perception. So let's have a look at how it will be organized within Raterly. So as you can see here, we're now in the post and analytics section of Raterly, which we were looking at before, but it is much more detailed and rich within the custom views that you can see here. Much more detailed and rich than the standard or advanced marking that we were looking at earlier. We're still looking at these different tools that are customized per use case, and so this one is very specific to what we would do for a brand solution. Let's dive into a first example of a view that we would do for this brand solution, which is awareness and engagement. So in this view, you can easily know the share of voice of your brands and their evolution over time, of course, seeing that Renault here, for example, is far more discussed than the other brands. A great way to understand who is talking about your brands in this solution is having a look at our corpuses. So in these corpuses, we've identified types of authors. So you can very easily filter down to specific corpuses, such as, for example, media social accounts. And by selecting this, we've only put into this corpus social accounts of media to really give an understanding of who is talking about the different brands for the set period of time. So one learning by looking at this is that here, for example, Volkswagen isn't very discussed by media and their social accounts. However, if we change the corpus and select resellers instead of media, here we're seeing that Volkswagen is coming back up into the ranking, and so it's probably a brand that is more mentioned by these resellers. Let's take away our corpus filter and now change our view from looking at number of posts to filtering our data by engagement actions. Here, we've filtered our whole view by engagement actions, but let's now filter our posts here in their order by engagement actions. By doing this, we're seeing that the most engaging post within the period from September 2020 to today is a post by a French YouTuber called Michou. This YouTuber, a 20-year-old, has posted only one post in this period and is bringing over 370,000 engagement actions. This is one great example of how you can use Raiderly to quickly identify and explain perhaps brand influence and brand performance. So we understand why Peugeot is so well ranked in this engagement ranking. It's a great way to very quickly understand, compare different brand performances. Let's dive into a second view. This is the brand dimensions view. So in this view, we're going away from the more quantitative level and standard KPIs like awareness or engagement. And here we have the centralized view to analyze the industry drivers that were identified during the setup phase. So this view will give you a good understanding of your industry drivers, the global conversations about those dimensions, and understand how each brand performs. So again, in a matter of clicks, one driver can be predicted. We can understand its evolution in time and how different brands are positioned for certain drivers. To go further, your face will also display one view focusing on each dimension. So let's dive into the environment and CSR dimension. Here, we've actually gone even further in the level of granularity that you can have by subcategorizing each dimension into subtopics. So within the environment industry driver, we'll also be able to dive into subtopics such as electric and hybrid for automotive industry, or also ethics. And so you'll have the possibility to deep dive into the platform on each dimension and discover the strengths and weaknesses for each brand. Finally, before we go into the different insight pages, you'll also have the possibility to see the authors through our influencer view. So you'll be able to filter this list by estimated reach or number of posts. And this is a great way for you to identify key stakeholders or people that will be important in your next brand strategy. Let's go into the Insight page section. In the same way as we were looking earlier in the benchmarking section, Brand Solution will offer different types of insight pages that are pre-built for your use case. So for brands, we will have 3 different types of insight pages to illustrate the level of granularity that you'll need to really analyze your brand equity. So we've built a larger insight page for the market in general. We'll then have a certain insight page for the brand benchmark at the market level. So here we would look at the different brands in the French market. And then you'll have separate insight pages for each brand to really deep dive into what's important for each brand and have specific reporting, custom and specific reporting for each brand. So in these insight pages, you will have recaps of the ADPR model. So brand awareness here, you will understand who are the top authors within your brand. You'll be able to analyze what are the most conversational brand dimensions for each brand, which are the most conversational subdimensions for each industry driver. And finally, for even more detail and further granularity, we can also have, of course, more overlaying of different topics or subtopics you would need. For example, here we have given you an example of different models for the Peugeot brand to really go even deeper into the micro of the data. Understanding their different relevance within the market, and understanding the different content that is posted and published by the consumers to really build your content strategy. So let's wrap it up. We've shown you a 3-step approach to benchmarking based on your level of maturity. And these different levels of benchmarking will take you through a first good approach to benchmarking your brands against competitors, to a better, more advanced approach, overlaying robust data structuring to your competitive data. And finally, for our more mature clients, Linkfluence Brand enables you to evaluate and track brand equity through the prism of online conversations. We've implemented a proven, robust methodology and measurement framework that combines data science with market expertise. So Linkfluence Brands will support your brand strategy with the latest advances in AI-powered social listening. And you'll be able to measure your brand influence, so across different markets versus your competition. You'll be able to guide your overall marketing strategy to reinforce stronger brand dimensions, work on weaker ones, and so on. You'll be able to detect new business opportunities. You'll be able to inspire and inform and improve the next brand activations. And finally, you'll be able to fine-tune your media investments. So we really hope that you enjoyed this demo, and we look forward to showing you more. See you soon.